Hi, it's Vex, and today we have our burn friend Tor Wauki, the younger. I hope it's Tor Wauki. Yes, there is an original Legends one that is an archer, but on Dominaria we have Legends reborn. I don't know what it's called, but Tor Wauki, our Rakdos Spellslinger burn commander, and I love it right here. 3 black red legendary creature, human archer. So those flaming arrows. If you look at the art really close, it's not, his arrow is not flaming. It's just like a piece of fire, but it looks cool from far away. It looks like a flaming arrow, right? There you go. Reach, lifelink. So 2 very important keywords. If another sorcerer you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage +1 to that permanent or player instead. So if something else other than Tor Wauki deals damage, it deals +1 damage. Now, the cool part is right here. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Tor Wauki the Younger deals 2 damage to any target. Wow. So you cast a spell, boom. For instance, you have Needle Drop right here. 1 red, instant, deals 1 damage to target creature or player that was dealt damage this turn. So it deals 1 damage. However, Tor Wauki enhances that 1 damage to +1, so 2 damage, and you get to draw a card. So, and then also this would trigger Tor Wauki's second ability, or I guess 4th if you count it. 4th ability, deal 2 damage. So this thing can deal up to 4 additional damage with Tor Wauki on the battlefield. As we alluded earlier, Tor Wauki is a Spellslinger commander once you have a lot of spells. So we definitely have a lot of spells that count up to 40 instants of sorceries, which would trigger the bottom part of Tor Wauki. And we have some cool little creatures that deal damage that Tor Wauki will enhance. But before we go through the deck and the cool stuff, don't forget to have all your tokens. I have the deck list in the description below if you want to check out this cool deck. I love it. After I saw it on Game Nights, I was like, I had to build it. I wasn't really going to build it, but now definitely building it. So you might think, before we actually go to the Spellslinger creatures, in a burn deck, it is hard. You know, there is 40 life times 3 that you have to whittle down, which is 120 life. What you do is essentially you let your opponents duke it out, you hold your hand, and you wait. You wait unless there's a threat that you need to take out one like right away. But essentially, you would just aim your fire at one person. It might not be the one with the highest life total. It might not be the one that has the craziest board, but the one that you think dying will help you win, of course. Then you wait, and then you start just slinging out your spells as quickly as possible. Kill that person. If somebody's threatening you on the stack, you can kill them at instant speed, which is really cool with Tor Wauki. So the idea is you let the light totals dwindle down via maybe have some of these guys out, deal some board damage, and then just sling your spells at the right time to take out the rest of the players. How the other players take each other out, who knows? It just depends on the texture of the game and which commanders you're facing. But essentially, what I'm saying is don't unleash fury right away. Pick your correct timing window, and then you should be very successful with Tor Wauki. All right, let's go on to these I call the Spellslinger type of creatures that deal damage. The Burn-slingers, I guess you want to call it. And essentially, a lot of them trigger based on casting a spell. Electric static field, casting instant sorcery, deal 1 damage to each opponent. However, that's doubled to, or +1, I guess it's essentially doubled, to 2 damage to each opponent. So this can deal up to 6 damage per instant sorcery. Really good. Plus Tor Wauki himself dealing an additional 2 is 8 total damage. Firebrand Archer is essentially the same, except for it's a non-creature spell and can attack, so it can whittle down your opponent's life total with a 2/1 right there. Kessic Flame Breather, non-creature spell, essentially the same text as the Archer. It's a 1/3 instead of 2/1. Thermal Alchemist, I think is really cool. These 2 are defenders right there. Thermal Alchemist is deal 1 damage to each opponent, so you can tap. You don't have to cast any spells, and in turn you deal 1 damage, maybe 2. Then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, untap it. So it essentially deals 1 damage, and then with Tor Wauki 2. And then you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 2 damage. So each turn cycle, it could deal up to 1 damage for free, and then additional 1 damage. One of your strongest Burn-slingers. Except for the strongest one is Gutter Snipe, which does naturally 2 damage and 3 damage with Tor Wauki. Insane. Then you have Torran, Thane of the Red Fell. Let's read this. And it's 1 triple red, legendary creature, Dwarf Noble. If a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent, or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +2 instead. So additional 2. This is additional 1, this is additional 2, additional 3 is insane. This is your guy. Now, if you would read Tor Wauki, it says Tor Wauki deals the damage. Tor Wauki is red, so would get the Tor brand bonus. Now, an amazing card in this deck is Sir Kara the Bold. Right there. It's a 3 red, legendary creature, human knight. Let's read this. Whenever Sir Kara the Bold or an instant or sorcery spell you control deals damage to a player, exile top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. We are playing cantrips and a lot of cheap spells, so we can chain our damage together. So you can tap Sir Kara, deal 1 damage to any target, which would be amplified by Tor Wauki to 2 damage. Then you could exile top card, and it could be something good. You could play it, and then trigger her again, and then play that one. So you could do a whole chain of things. We have Young Pyromancer. It doesn't generate damage, but this just generate creatures as you're casting instant sorcery spells. We are playing Spellslinger. Young Pyromancer is such a natural fit in that deck. And we have our cantrips. Usually most of them are 1 mana cantrips. There are other higher mana cantrips, but the 1 mana cantrips let you chain, and then eventually we get the Stormkiln Artist, lets you keep chaining these cantrips together. And essentially cycle through your deck while doing 2 damage at the same time with Tor Wauki and gaining 2 life. We have the black cantrips here. Aphotic Wisp. I hope I'm saying that right. Target creature becomes black and gains fear until end of turn. That is actually important because you can give Tor Wauki fear and then do attack with Tor Wauki. Now, I forgot to mention, this Tor Wauki damage does not count as commander damage. Commander damage has to be done via attacking. So just remember that. You still have to whittle them down from 40 life. Cling to Dust is really cool. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 lives. Otherwise, you draw a card. So you could pay black, exile some random card. It's also graveyard hate and draw a card, as long as it's not a creature. Then you get Escape. So you use your graveyard as a resource, replay it. Escape does cost 4. So I recommend not escaping unless you're desperate for some graveyard hate or that cantrip. So because we have other graveyard shenanigans going on here. Cremate, exile target card from a graveyard, draw a card. This is kind of like Cling to Dust without the creature clause. I love this card. You Are Already Dead from Neon Dynasty. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. Dealing damage is easy because you have Tor Wauki's ability, so you can kill somebody in cantrip. Blade Brand is insane with Tor Wauki right there. Target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Draw a card. Too bad when you cast this, Tor Wauki's ability will go on the stack first, and then you can make it death touch. Now the any instant or sorcery you cast can just kill like anything because it has death touch, and draw a card. Some of the red cantrips, there's 8 of them right there. They do have small effects because you get to draw a card, give things haste, which could matter. Needle Drop, deal 1 damage to our creature. I was already dealt damage. Again, easy with Tor Wauki. Crimson Wisp, give something haste, give something trample, give something can't block. Ral deals 1 damage to target creature you control. Remember with Tor Wauki on the battlefield, it'll do 2 damage to a creature you control. So don't accidentally kill a 2 toughness creature with this. But that creature gains trample, draw a card. Everybody gains first strike, draw a card. Overmaster could be important. The next instant or sorcery spell this turn cannot be countered, so you're playing against a counter spell deck. But it's just a cantrip. You can just play a red, draw a card. Then there's card draw. We want to shred through our deck. Even casting an instant sorcery that doesn't deal damage or doesn't cantrip. Well, I guess these kind of cantrips, because they are card draw, would trigger Tor Wauki. So going through your deck is good. Faithless Looting, excellent in this deck. It's a little card disadvantage, but still has a flashback, which is cool. Throw Out Possibility is card neutral, but again, going through a deck is exactly what we want to do. Light up the stage, really good with Spectacle. Spectacle, if you guys don't know, you may cast a spell for a Spectacle cost rather than its mana cost. If an opponent has lost life this turn, which is, again, achievable with Tor Wauki. Exile top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards, which is really neat. Jessica's Will is insane. Have Tor Wauki on the battlefield. Get a lot of mana. Do the 3 cards. Exiled. This is until next turn. This is this turn, but still very good. We're playing very cheap cards, so you usually play those 3 cards unless they're all lands. Then, remember to not play your land before you play Jessica's Will, if you can help it. Valakut Awakening. Again, card neutral, but it's a multiple double face card. Helps you with your land count. So excellent there. There's a red card draw. Some black card draw. Again, I don't want to keep mentioning this. You want cheap card draw because you want to just chain your spells together. It's not about the most efficient, I pay 5 mana, get 10 cards. It's about cheap, efficient card draw. So Sign in Blood, Knight's Whisper, pay 2, draw 2. Excellent. Black Market Connection is mana ramp, card draw, and a little protection with creatures. Or you can also attack with a changeling that makes to whittle people down with. Excellent, excellent card. If you don't have a black market connection, you definitely need to get one and put in your staples pile. It is a staple. I think it's better in Phyrexian Arena because it also can ramp you. It does, you got pay 6 life to do all the modes, but it's an excellent, excellent card. You get treasure, draw a card, make it a little shapeshifter. Now, Siphon Mine is one of my favorites, and I always like to include it now in a lot of black decks. Definitely about card drawing. It is essentially a 6-for-1, 3 in a black. It is quite expensive, but each other player discard a card. You draw a card for each card discarded, so you can draw up to 3 cards, make them discard up to 3 cards. That is a 6-for-1. That has insane rate, insane value. So I included. I mentioned you want to be efficient, but this is very efficient. 6-for-1 for 4. I don't think any other card, any black card can do a 6-for-1 for 4 mana. So super good. Then we have damage-based removal. I know usually damage-based removal isn't in Commander a lot. You just want Wrath of God, just straight removal. Blasphemous Act is a damage-based removal. It does 13, but can do 14 with Tor Wauki. And sometimes it matters. Sometimes somebody has a 14/14. It could happen. These are cards that you seldomly see in EDH. Bone Crusher Giant. Now there's more efficient cards in Bone Crusher Giant, but I like to mention that sometimes I want people to play what they like, even if it's suboptimal. I love Bone Crusher Giant. I know people see it in Standard and a lot, but Bone Crusher Giant is still fun. It does 2 damage, and the important part here on the stop side is damage cannot be prevented this turn, and stop deals 2 damage to any target. Now, if someone has protection or something like that, you can still deal 2 damage because it can't be prevented. I love this Bone Crusher Giant. It has a very niche effect, but it's really good. And then it also has a creature, which, let's bring this back up again. Then whenever Bone Crusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller, which, can come up. It's never come up for me, but can come up with Tor Wauki. You have End of Festivities, and I really like End of Festivities because it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. With Tor Wauki, deals 2 damage to a lot of things. A lot of people have 1/1 tokens and such. End of Festivities can end that festivities for them. Spikefield Hazard, 1 damage to any target. And then if something would die, exile it. The important part is a Modal Double Face card. I think we are very light on lands, but we have a lot of Modal Double Face lands to make up for it because we want more spells. We want heavy spell density, but we can still play these in a pinch. Grape Shot is insane in this deck. We're going through a lot of cantrips, playing a lot of spells. It's got Storm, and then when you cast it with Tor Wauki, deals 2 damage to any target, and the Storm trigger. Excellent. Speaking of Modal Double Face cards, Shatter Skull Smashing, another Modal Double Face land. This one can come to play untapped. Deals X damage. Divide as you choose among 2 target creatures and or planeswalker. X or 6 or more, deals twice X. And then it deals twice, and then the additional here. Cut to Ribbons, I like a lot. This is a 4 damage to target creature. That's cool, but the important part is right here, Aftermath. Ribbons, X black black. Each opponent loses X life. This is a finisher. This is kind of like Exsanguinate without the gain life part. But, you got a lot of mana. You got nothing else to do. You play Ribbons. Boom. Each opponent loses X life. Now, it doesn't trigger Tor Wauki's. Tor Wauki's deal damage. This is lose X, lose life. So, but the cut part would, deal an extra damage 5 if you have Tor Wauki on the battlefield. Delayed Blast Fireball. It just sounds really cool. It's 1 red. Deals 2 damage to each opponent and each creature they control, which is really good, But, if the spell is cast from exile, it deals 5 damage to each opponent, each creature they control. You can cast it from exile via Jessica's Will or Light Up the Stage, or the Foretell part of Delayed Blast Fireball. That's a lot of damage being slung. You do 15 damage total to your opponents. With Tor Wauki's 18 damage. That is a lot of damage output. And people say play interaction. We are playing a lot of interaction in our other damage-based removal. However, there's some things that we just need to get rid of. The damage doesn't, you can't light it up on fire. You got to feed it to the Swarm, kill some enchantments or creatures outright. Chaos Warp, sometimes you got a Chaos Warp thing. Vandal Blast is Vandal Blast. Ultra stable, kills all the artifacts. Extremely good. Toxic Deluge, very efficient. Those are your, only 4 non-burn removals, so it's not that bad. These just handle problems that burn cannot take care of. These are your finishers. The biggest finisher in this deck is Mizzix's Mastery. This is why I say always play Graveyard Hate, because this one is insane. Pay 3 and a red. Exile target card as an instant sorcery from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Exile Mizzix's Mastery. Overload, 5 red, 8 mana. And you exile it and you cast the copy. Remember, you may cast the copy. Okay, let's take that in. Every cast, right, you overload it, you play all your stuff, kill 1 player, everything's in your graveyard, you play Mizzix's Mastery, boom, you recast everything. Every cast triggers Tor Wauki. That is important, and you cast it for free. That's why this card is insane, because it does say cast on it. Past in Flames. I was reading the card before I even told you what its name. Past in Flames. Each instant or sorcery card in graveyard gains flashback at end turn. Flashback cost is equal to mana cost. So again, you kill 1 player, boom, you stack your graveyard with a lot of things because you're ripping through your deck really quickly. Past in Flames can let you rebuy your graveyard. And then it also has flashback, so it could rebuy it again. And then we have the subpar finishers, because these 2 are the best, but you got more, right? Underworld Breach gives you everything in your graveyard escape, right? But you got to remove 3 cards to play it, so it's not as efficient as Past in Flames, but it does give you a way to go through your graveyard again. Fury Storm lets you, it doesn't do the cast trigger, but lets you copy things. You might have a lethal Cut to Ribbons that you want to copy a couple times, and you keep killing Tor Wauki. Fury Storm is your spell. We have some protection. As always, our deck is very reliant on our commander. Without our commander, our deck really doesn't do much. So we want to protect our commanders. We put the artifact protection here. I know you could play more things like Malka Rebirth or Undying or Feign Death, but those are only 1-turn protection. We need heavy protection, multi-turn protection for Tor Wauki. Is why I have these 2 here. We do have Malka Rebirth, again, another mold double face card land to help with our land count, because we running 32 lands. Deflecting SWAT, free spell, just great, and then can trigger Tor Wauki, but it's also a good piece of protection. There's some utility cards, Graveyard Hate, so we have these 3 are Graveyard Hate. The cool part about Dothy Voidwalker right there is like a Leyline of the Void, is that you can sack it to cast a spell, and that also can do the Tor Wauki thing too. So I think it's really neat there. Soul Guide Lantern, just really good way to go through your deck or eliminate somebody else's graveyard if they had doing graveyard shenanigans like we are. Rakdos Charm is actually very, very good in this deck because it's got 3 modes that are very relevant. Exile all cards from target player's graveyard, or destroy target artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Now, the second mode doesn't get the Tor Wauki bonus because the creature deals damage, not Rakdos Charm. Right there, it says another source you control. So, you might kill yourself with this because it deals 2 damage to you. But the burn part is actually the important part. Is somebody's playing a lot of creatures, you can finish them off with Rakdos Charm. You just gotta be careful and do the math there. Agadeem's Awakening, mold double face card, mainly for the land count, but you can play as a spell as necessary. We're not playing a lot of creatures, but it can get maybe 1 or 2 creatures back. It's still good. Or you can play just triple black, do nothing spell just to trigger Tor Wauki. Either way, or you play as land. So you got a lot of options with Agadeem's Awakening. Of course, we're saving for a big turn. So what we have is we have ramp, and I call it Spellslinger ramp right here. We have traditional Dockside Extortionist ramp. It's Dockside Extortionist. We need a lot of mana. I took out Demonic Tutor. As you notice, there's no Demonic Tutor, but I have Dockside Extortionist in this deck. Mana Geyser, ramp based on your opponent's tap lands. Extremely efficient. We wait for the right moment. People exhaust their resources, tap our lands, wait for the right turn. Bam, play it, get 15 mana, and go off. Runaway Steamkin. When you cast a red spell, so it's not instant sorcery, red spell, even Tor Wauki will trigger Runaway Steamkin. If it has fewer than +3/+1/+1 counters on it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Move 3 counters, add red. So you play some red spells, put counters on, move counters, ramp. Birgi, God of Storytelling. Now, Birgi has 2 sides. Both sides are actually very important. So whenever you cast a spell, any spell, add 1 red, and it stays there forever until the turn ends, The boast part of Birgi doesn't matter. Then you have Hornfeld, Horn of Bounty. It costs 5, so it's a little hefty, but you discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn, so you could discard some unneeded land cards and such. So you have Burgie, you have both options. I do like the front side better because I do need a lot of mana production, so front's good. But if I have tons of mana production already, let's say I have these guys out here and these guys have been played, I could play the other side and do a card advantage. Stormkiln Artist. Now this is one of the strongest cards with your cantrips. 3 in a red. Dwarf Shaman gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. That's not the important part. The important part is whenever you cast or copy. So Graveshot does do the copy thing, or Fury Storm does trigger this instant sorcery spell. Create a treasure token. So each cantrip becomes free with Stormkiln Artist. So these are very important cards. I think Stormkiln Artist is the most important card in the deck, because once you get this, you are off to the races. After the Spellslinger ramp, you have your traditional ramp, Solemn Simulacrum, because I just like Solemn. It's a creature, it's a body. You can draw you a card, ramp you. Soul Ring, of course, Wayfarer's Bauble. Then we have our 2-mana ramp right there, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, Rakdos Signet, Talisman of Indulgence. We do try to get the untapped ramp if we can. Then I have my Flex Spot pet card ramp, Glittering Stockpile. It's not the most efficient, of course, but I like it because the name, the flavor, the picture, the art, it's just fun to have. 2 in a red, add 1 red, put a stash counter on Glittering Stockpile. So you just charge up your stockpile right there. Then you can sacrifice it because it is a treasure. It's actually a treasure. It's one of those rare artifacts that's actually a treasure. Sack it, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of stash counter on Glittering Stockpile. Boom. So you just charge up 2, charge up 3, charge up 4, and when the big turn, you just sack it, get 4 mana. So it's like a little charging battery for you to use later. Onto the lands, we have our 2, our Rakdos lands. Command Towers, a Rakdos land, of course. I really love 2-color decks because you get to play a lot of basics, which I love. Come and play untapped, no problems at all. But you have the flexibility of having 2 different colors, so it's really good. As you can see here, we have a card called Shivan Gorge. Add a colorless, is legendary, of course. 2 red. Shivan Gorge deals 1 damage to each opponent. Yes, that does count for Tor Wauki, so we can ping them right there to get extra damage in. The other lands, the single color lands, the 2-channel lands, Castle Lockthwain to get you cards just in case you run out of cards trying to kill somebody. Bajuka Bog, Orbor, we are heavily leaning toward red, so we're kind of, Orbor helps balance that out a little bit. That's even Stage of Vesuva. I just love these cards because you can just copy random stuff from your opponents. I've copied Cradles and cool stuff. I don't play reserve list cards, but this is a way to play reserve list lands. So these are very good. We have some basics, again, more towards red than black. We do want to cast Tor Wauki with our, we don't get too many red mana sources, but we do want to cast Tor Wauki early. The earlier the better. We cast Tor Wauki. Hopefully Tor Wauki survives, and then go for our big turn. I don't think we're actually able to cast Tor Wauki and go for our big turn until the later game, maybe when Tor Wauki dies once or twice, and we've stacked up a little Dockside Extortionist mana. But I think you want to save your spells or save your big turn until you are able to cast Tor Wauki. And maybe if you can save for if your games are going a little slower and you can survive longer, just wait to cast Tor Wauki, build up mana, and then start executing the same turn. So it just depends. Again, depends on the texture of the game. But I'm going to shuffle this up, do a little go fishing. But before I do a little go fishing, I want to remind you, if you enjoy this video, give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. And add some comment. Tell me how much you love Burn, and the deck list is in the description below, along with my TCG Player affiliate links and all the other social stuff. But have your tokens. Don't forget to have your tokens. And we'll shuffle this deck up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Turn 1, Tor Wauki the Younger. Not turn 2, turn 1. Remember, we are running thin on land, so sometimes we're going to get a 2-land hand. That's perfectly fine. As long as you use those cantrips aggressively to find lands. Fill your graveyard for those finishers. Exactly, 2 lands. Arcane Signet, it's like a pseudo land. If we don't hit our 3rd land, then ramp is not really useful. But, it is what it is. We do have cantrips right there over Overmaster Expedite to go faster. We have the best card in the deck, Stormkiln Artist, Electrostatic Field. Okay, turn 1. Boom, we drew a land. That's sweet. So that means we play Luxury Suite and play this on turn 3. Play Luxury Suite. Now what we want to do is, start the cantrip train early because we are trying to fill our graveyard, get to our finishers. So we'll do Overmaster just to draw a card. Draw a card. Cut the ribbons. That's sweet. That's a good card in the graveyard. All right. Turn 2. Draw another card. Mountain. More lands. Okay, it's not bad. Okay, we'll play our mountain into play. And then we could play our Electrostatic Field, but ramping is important, so let's play our Arcane Signet. We could also play Expedite to cantrip, but we have plays for a bunch of turns, so we're just going to save that. Draw a card, turn 3, forgot to mention that. We got more lands, it's not a problem. We'll play our Hunted Ridge, comes play untap, because we have 2 more lands. Tap our Arcane Signet, move it down to the land pile. Play the most important card of the game, Stormcast Artist. Do not, it probably is a kill magnet, but we'll see. All right, turn 4. We can play our commander next turn. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Sorcerer the Bold. We could have played our commander, or we play Sorcerer the Bold. I think what we could do is set up for next turn by playing Sorcerer the Bold now, and then get our commander out right there, and then instantly deal the extra damage. Okay, Sorcerer the Bold, pass turn, turn 5, right there. So now we draw a card, Siphon Mine. Gosh, that's such a good card. And you net back 1 mana from Stormcast Artist. We'll play our Shokenzen. Got a bunch of lands. Now, do we want to play our dude? Now, if we really want to do some commander damage, we could expedite it. So I think, we'll play Tor Wauki. Let's do that. On turn 5. Perfect. Tor Wauki. Then, you know what? We want to bank some treasure, so we'll just expedite Tor Wauki, give it haste, and turn. Okay. Then have Tor Wauki deal extra 2 damage to something. So 2 damage. We'll keep our Tor Wauki damage counter here. I'll keep it on the side here. 2 damage. We'll create a treasure from Stormcast Artist. Right there. We'll just put a 1 here. We will draw a card from Expedite. Boom. Throw a possibility. That's pretty good. That's our hand. Right there. Then what we could do is we could tap Sorcerer to deal damage, which increases it to 2. So we did 4 damage already. Boom. We'll exile Takenuma. We didn't need that anyways. Can't play it this turn. Then we'll keep our mana banked, and then we'll say pass. Turn 6. Right there. All right, we get to draw a card. This is our good turn. Ooh, cling to dust. That's sweet. Okay, first things first. Electrostatic Field. We got to put that down. That's super important there. Play our Electrostatic Field. Boom. Okay, now let's see what we can do. I think what we want to do is do a Sorcerer ping for 2 to any target. Then you get to do exile card. Crimson Wisp. That's super cool. It's another 2 damage. Throw a possibility. We don't have anything to discard right now, but we could just we draw tons of cards here, Siphon Mine, and get a refund on it. These things are, Cling to Dust is free because you get a refund. We get Stormcast Artist, so let's draw a bunch of cards, right, don't we? Siphon Mine. Right there. We will play Siphon Mine. We'll get a treasure. We'll deal 6 damage to our opponents. So 3 opponents, 2 damage each because the Tor Wauki is +1. Then we'll deal 2 damage. So 8 total damage from Siphon Mine. That's sweet. 8 total damage along with each person discarding. And then you draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sweet. Needle Drop. That's free. We've definitely done damage already to some players, so we can Needle Drop. I've been tracking how much damage we've done off screen, but I was going to put it on screen here. Make some room here. This is our exile zone. I've kind of rearranged things a little bit here. We've done 14 damage so far with our Tor Wauki, Electrostatic Field, Sorcerer. It's not bad. Not a bad start. Okay, we got 2 mana. We could play Needle Drop. Actually, save Needle Drop because we probably can't cast anything that comes from the top of our library with Sorcerer. Let's play Cling to Dusk. Exile something. Right there, we use one, we get one back. Trigger for another 8 damage via this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. That's super cool. And then we draw a card from Cling to Dust. Draw a Swamp. Okay. We could play, let's play our Crimson Wisp. Right there. Crimson Wisp. Again, free. Another 8 damage. That's super sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we've done 30 damage so far. That's sweet here. And then see what else free cards we could play. Oh, screw it. We'll play Needle Drop. Needle Drop. So this will actually, again, same thing here. Trigger 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's right. Trigger another 8 damage. Sorcerer will trigger because now, Sorcerer is an interesting wording. Spell you control deals damage to a player. So it's also target player Needle Drop, which we do. Needle Drop will do 2 damage. 2 damage. Additional damage. So 1, 2. Deal 2 damage. And Sorcerer will trigger. Exile on top card of our library. That's a Crash Through. That's like another free spell. Sweet. Okay. We'll play Crash Through for free. And then we'll do another 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is sweet to track this. Then we get to draw a card from that. Oh, Fury Storm. Oh, if we have enough mana for that one. We don't, by the way. But we could play these 2 cards. Are the last card. We'll play Throw of Possibility. So we'll actually lose 2. Gain 1 from Stormciln Artist. Fury. Throw of Possibility. Additional card, we will discard our Dathi Wardwalker. We'll play that. Trigger the 8 damage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Trigger our 8 damage. Draw a card. Remember to gain life from Tor Wauki. Draw 2 cards. Right there. We'll continue the fun. Let's see. We will cremate for free, essentially free, then do another 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Draw a card off cremate. Light up the stage. Sure. Again, we'll do it for a spectacle cost. Light up stage for free. Here we'll do 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do another 8 damage. We'll exile these 2 cards till next turn. Blasphemous Act. We could do that, but we don't want a Blasphemous Act. Just remember, you still could cast it next turn. Okay. See what we got here. We have Cut. We'll use our last mana for Cut. And that's about it. Okay. We use our last mana for Cut. This goes away. Actually, we can't cut because we only have 1 mana. My bad. Okay, we won't do anything else. I think we are done here. Tor Wauki's done, what was it, 15, 30, 40, 50 damage this turn. I think we're good. We're going to do 1 more turn here because, this is super fun. I'm going to pass the turn. Actually, I think we have a land drop. Hold on. This is turn 6. We only played 5 lands. We do have a land drop. Just kidding. We'll tap this, get rid of our treasure. Then we'll play Cut. Cut, we'll make another treasure. Then we do another 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 8 damage. This doesn't trigger Sorcerer because it's when you do damage to a player, then it triggers Sorcerer. But it does cut for 5 because of Tor Wauki, and then extra 2 damage from Tor Wauki. We could play this land next turn. But now that I think we're done, we've played 45, 50, what is this? 15, 30, 40, 50, 60 damage. All right, I'm totally bad at counting. It's 25, 50, 75, 80 damage in 1 turn. I think we're good. We're going to pass the turn here. Pass the turn. Turn 7. All right, I'm just going to draw my card for turn. Renegade Tactics. So don't mind if I do. Now, if somebody try to kill you, you can deflecting swat deal another 8 damage. So that's super cool. Let's say we did. deflecting swat, something that did 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because you can do it for free. Okay, let's start off by not playing Blasphemous Act. Let's start off by Renegade Tacticsing. You pay 1 red, get a treasure for it. Right there, target creature can't block this turn. Some creature, deal another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Deal another 8, draw a card. Bam, Soul Ring, that's a sweet card. We'll do a Secure Ping for 2 damage. I know it seems really pathetic compared to our 8 to some player, so we can do the exile thing. Rakdos Charm, that's sweet. We'll play our Soul Ring right there. And then we're gonna go nuts because we're gonna cast Past in Flames. Right there is a sorcery. That'll deal damage. Another 8 damage. We're at space 1, 2. Get another one of these. Hold on. We always have more room. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the stuff is flashback. Right? So this is in here. All the 1-mana spells all have flashback. We're just gonna flashback 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 8, 64 damage. Plus some more damage here. I think we're good. I think we've demonstrated how powerful this deck is. This deck's insanely powerful. Stormkiln Artist. As you can see, we drew one of our finishers, Past in Flames. We can do everything with flashback. Super good. We got Stormkiln Artist, Electrostatic Field, Tor Wauki. So the important, obviously, we wouldn't have the big turn without our Stormkiln Artist. We did 80. We're probably up to like 100 some damage, enough damage to kill them all. That's it if we're uninterrupted, and we have some enough protection to protect Tor Wauki. But I love this deck. Definitely keep track of how much damage you've done, but maybe not in front of your opponents, because if they see that number, they're gonna be like, no, that's just too much. But yeah, this deck is super fun. Do a lot of burn. You still have more cards in exile to do. Tor Wauki's got a bunch of treasures. So yeah, super fun. Anyways, if you enjoy this deck tech, give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below. And I hope you enjoy burning your opponents out. And also, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to click on the TCG Player affiliate link. Help support the channel.